Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Steve from the school office. I'm the one who you come to see to get a Band-Aid. I'm the one who makes announcements over the loudspeaker. And I was delighted to be asked to read a book to you today. And I picked one of my favorite books called Buster. Buster the dog. So sit back and listen to this fun story. Are you ready? Buster by Denise Fleming. Buster was a happy dog. He had everything he could ever want. He had dishes with his name on it. He had a large grassy yard with a tall oak tree to nap under. A sandpit for taking dirt baths, in and out flap on the back door. A basket full of toys. A radio to turn his favorite station on. Brown shoes who took Buster to the park whenever Buster asked. Buster was a happy dog until the brown shoes brought home a big box. Buster stared at the big box. He hoped there were juicy steaks or fancy cheeses or spicy sausages in the box. See that big box up there? But there were no steaks, no cheeses, no sausages in the box. There was just a bag of sand, a large flat pan, 2 small dishes, and a cat named Betty. Buster was not happy because Buster was afraid of cats. He was afraid of Betty. Betty jumped down off the table and she began to purr and twist and turn around Buster's legs. Buster was terrified. He was afraid to move. If I ignored her, thought Buster, maybe she'll just go away. Buster did everything to attract Buster's attention. She slept in Buster's dishes with curvy letters. Buster ignored her. Betty ran up and down and around Buster's tree, but Buster still ignored her. She dug into Buster's sand pit, but Buster still ignored her. Betty ran in and out of the flap, and Buster still ignored her. She hid Buster's toys, but Buster still ignored her. Then she changed the station on Buster's radio. That was too much for Buster. Buster slipped underneath the fence. He ran down the block, over 5 streets, around 2 corners, until he came to a park. Not his usual park, but a fine park with tall trees, a bubbly fountain, tubs of flowers, large grassy patches, and not a cat in sight. No Betty, thought Buster, as he drank from the fountain. No Betty, thought Buster, as he rolled around in the sand. No Betty, thought Buster, as he listened to his radio station. No Betty, thought Buster, as he fell asleep in the shade of the tall tree. Do you see him there? Buster woke up. He was very hungry. He was lonely. Soon it would be dark. Buster was ready to go home. He looked up the street. He looked down the street. Nothing looked familiar. He circled the park to the left and he circled the park to the right. Buster had no idea which direction was home. Boys and girls, Buster was lost. Buster asked the big yellow dog if he knew which way home was. He asked the tiny black dog if she knew which way home. He asked the man sweeping the walks if he knew which way was home. No one in the park had any idea where Buster lived. Oh no. Buster sat very still and tried to remember the route he'd taken to the park. But he's been so busy trying to get away from Betty the cat that he didn't pay any attention. All Buster could think about was how he would never see home. His dishes, his sandpit, his toys, his tree, his brown shoes again. What would he do? Where would he go? Just then, a pigeon circled Buster and landed close to Buster's ear. "Cuckoo," said the pigeon. Buster looked up. way, way up. In top of the tall tree, several trees over, Buster saw a waving ball of white fur. Do you see that, boys and girls? The tree looked very familiar. The waving ball of fur looked very familiar. Boys and girls, who do you think it is? Tell me. You're right. It was Betty the cat. Buster ran out of the park, around 2 corners, over 5 streets. He turned left. He ran up the block all the time. He just kept keeping his eye on Betty. He followed Betty all the way to his home. Buster slipped under the fence. Betty ran down the tree over to Buster. Betty began to purr and twist and turn around Buster's leg. Guess what? Buster was a happy dog now. He had everything he could ever wanted and more. And guess what, boys and girls? Buster wasn't afraid of Betty anymore. Betty and Buster became really good friends. I hope you enjoyed this story. Take care and have a nice day.